I'm going to tell you a story today about a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. But this is not a children's story. This is a story for grown-ups. Once upon a time, two friends were walking through a forest. They had been friends since childhood and were inseparable. As they walked along, they began to complain about how difficult life was getting. "I'm tired of working hard for barely enough money to get by," one of them said. "I wish I had a pot of gold. Then I could really live the life I want." The other friend nodded in agreement. "If only we had some gold," he said, "we wouldn't have to worry about anything." Just then, a wise woman appeared on the path ahead of them. "What seems to be the problem?" she asked. The two friends explained their situation. If only we had a pot of gold," one of them said. The wise woman smiled. "Well, that's easy enough," she said. "Each of you will receive 10 gold coins. However," she added, "there are 2 rules you must follow. First, you must carry your coins in a basket with holes in it. Second, you must not look inside the basket." The friends thanked her and ran off, each with his own basket of gold coins. At first, they were careful to follow the rules. They didn't peek inside the baskets, and because of the holes, they had to keep carrying them. But after a while, one of them couldn't resist the temptation any longer. He stopped to rest and reached inside the basket to grab a coin so he could look at it more closely. As soon as he did, the coin slipped from his fingers and fell to the ground with a clatter. Then, in a panic, he started digging in the dirt to try to find it. The other friend, seeing what had happened, ran over to help. Together, they searched for the lost coin, but it was no use. It was too small to be found in the dirt. Finally, defeated, they picked up their baskets and continued on their way. Now, because of the holes in the baskets, the weight of the coins made it difficult to walk. Also, since they had broken the rules, the coins inside the baskets were no longer safe. Every step they took, the coins rattled around, threatening to fall out. Afraid that more would be lost, the friends quickened their pace. They walked until they came to a river. The wise woman had told them they would need to cross this river on their way to the pot of gold. Looking at the strong current, they knew there was no way they could safely carry their heavy baskets across. So, sitting on the bank, they looked at each other, knowing they had only themselves to blame. They could have had the pot of gold, but instead, because of their greed and impatience, they were stuck with nothing. As the sun began to set, they made the long walk back home. Each was thinking about how different things would have been if they had followed the rules. If they had carried their coins in baskets with handles, like the wise woman suggested, they could have kept their gold safe and used it to make their lives better. But instead, because they wanted more than they were willing to work for, they had lost everything. The next day, the two friends went back to the wise woman. They apologized for breaking the rules and asked if they could try again. The wise woman smiled and said, "Of course. Would you like to try to earn a pot of gold?" The two friends, humbled by their failure, agreed. Again, they were given 10 gold coins each, but this time, the wise woman gave them baskets with handles, just as she had told them before. The friends thanked her and ran off. This time, they followed the rules. They didn't look inside the baskets. And since they were able to hold the baskets securely, they didn't lose any gold coins. When they reached the river, they carefully carried their baskets across and continued on their way. At the end of the rainbow, they found the pot of gold. But it wasn't the pot of gold they had expected to see. It was much larger. Inside the pot were even more baskets, and each one was filled with gold. Overjoyed, the friends split the treasure evenly. Then, carrying their pots of gold, they returned home. They had learned an important lesson about the dangers of greed and the importance of being grateful. All for what they had, they also learned that sometimes the only way to get what you want is to be patient and follow the rules. Life is like that basket of gold coins. We all have our own problems and challenges to overcome, but sometimes we get impatient and try to take shortcuts. We become greedy for what we want and don't appreciate what we have, like the two friends. We may think we're helping ourselves, but we end up making things worse. The only way to get the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow is to be patient and follow the rules. To appreciate what we have, to be grateful for our blessings, and to never, ever stop believing in ourselves. Thank you for watching this episode. If you liked it, please hit the like button, subscribe and share this video with your family and friends.